Here's something that should make you stop scrolling. Researchers tracked thousands of people for over a decade and found that two people, same age, same genetics, could have bodies that are biologically 9 years apart. One is aging fast, one is barely aging at all. The only real difference, what they did with their bodies every single week. And no, it wasn't some miracle supplement or expensive lab treatment. It was something almost embarrassingly simple. Before we get to what it was, let's talk about something most people don't realize is already happening to them. Starting in your 30s, quietly, without warning, your body begins losing muscle, around 3 to 5% per decade. By the time you hit your 60s, that process speeds up. Scientists call it sarcopenia, which sounds like something out of a horror film, but really just means your muscles are shrinking and nobody told you to stop it. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Losing muscle isn't just about feeling weaker. Research shows it's one of the strongest predictors of how long you'll actually live. So what separated those two people aging 9 years apart? Consistent movement. A Brigham Young University study examined data from over 5,800 adults and found that people who exercised regularly had a biological aging advantage of almost 9 years over people who didn't. 9 years just sitting inside your body, waiting to be claimed. But here's the part that genuinely surprised me when I found it. This isn't just about your heart or your waistline, it goes much deeper, down to your actual DNA. Inside every cell in your body, you have structures called telomeres. Think of them like the plastic tips on the end of a shoelace. Every time a cell replicates, those tips get a little shorter. The shorter they get, the faster you age. And what did that same research find? People who exercise consistently had significantly longer telomeres than sedentary adults, giving them a biological edge of up to 7 years, even over people who only moved occasionally. So exercise isn't just keeping you fit, it's physically slowing your biological clock at a cellular level. That's not motivational fluff, that's measurable science. And then there's the brain. A study following 876 people, with an average age of 71, found that those who exercised little or not at all experienced far steeper mental decline over time. Some researchers now believe that regular, consistent movement can slow cognitive aging by close to a decade. A decade of sharper thinking, better memory, clearer focus, just from moving your body. Now, here's where I expect most people to check out mentally, because the thought creeping in right now is probably, what if I've already left it too late? This is actually where the science gets most interesting. A massive review published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine pooled data from 85 separate studies and found that people who stayed consistently active cut their risk of dying from any cause by 30 to 40%. Remarkable, but not surprising. What is surprising is what they found for people who only started moving later in life. They even saw a 20 to 25% reduction in mortality risk. The body doesn't hold grudges, it just responds to what you give it, whenever you give it. And it's not about going to extremes either. You don't need to be an athlete, you don't need a gym membership. Even modest amounts of movement, below the official recommendations, were still shown to produce meaningful benefits. Starting small still counts. So what does this actually need to look like day to day? The official guidance lands at around 150 minutes of moderate movement per week, roughly 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Walking counts, cycling counts, swimming counts. The threshold for moderate is pretty simple. You should feel slightly winded, but still able to hold a conversation. That's it. But the piece most people skip, and arguably the most important one as you get older, is strength training. Lifting weights, using resistance bands, and even bodyweight exercises. Because cardio keeps your heart healthy, but resistance training preserves your muscles, protects your joints, and keeps you physically capable of doing the things that make life worth living. Picking up your grandkids, getting up off the floor without needing a strategy, carrying your own bags. These aren't small things. We tend to think of aging like a fixed sentence. Something is just happening to us, on a timeline we have no say over. But the science consistently keeps telling a different story. Staying active preserves your mobility, sharpens your mind, deepens your sleep, and protects your independence. Not at 30, not just at 50, at every single age. The research is detailed. The people who move are the people who live better, longer, and with far more control over how their final decades actually feel. Your body is aging right now in this moment. The only question is how fast you're going to let it happen. So, are you going to move today?
Thank you for watching.
Like, subscribe, drop a comment. What's one type of movement you're going to try this week?